So recently we've been learning a lot about Christopher Columbus. One thing I want to start learning about today is Native Americans and their culture. Do you guys know what the word culture means? Anyone know that? Could someone show me with their hand if they know what culture is? Jenna.
A group's beliefs and religion and their community that they're a part of.
Yeah, kind of what they strongly believe in as a group of people. What do you guys already know about the culture of Native Americans? Yes.
They're very in tune with the earth.
They're very in tune with the earth. We also see that in Pocahontas, which we just talked about, where she connects a lot with nature by talking to trees and things like that. Very good point. Anything else? All right, well, we're going to learn a little bit about it. Today, I'm going to be reading you the story called Thanking the Birds, written by Joseph Bruchac. And this book, or this story, does not have any pictures, so I want you guys to try your best to visualize what I'm reading and how the characters are feeling throughout the story. It's very short, so bear with me and make the pictures in your mind. One day 30 years ago, Swift Eagle, an Apache man, visited some friends on the Onondaga Indian Reservation in central New York. While he was out walking, he heard sounds of boys playing in the bushes. "There's another one, shoot it," said one of the boys. When he pushed through the brush to see what was happening, he found that they had been shooting small birds with a BB gun. They had already killed a chickadee, a robin, and several blackbirds. The boys looked up at him, uncertain what he was going to do or say. There are several things that a non-Indian bird lover might have done, given a stern lecture on the evil killing of birds, threatened to tell the boys' parents on them for doing something they had been told not to do, or even spank them. Swift Eagle, however, did something else. "Ah," he said, "I see you have been hunting. Pick up your game and come with me." He led the boys to a place where they could make a fire and cook the birds. He made sure they said a thank you to the spirits of the birds before eating them. As they ate, he told stories. It was important, he said, to be thankful to the birds for the gifts of their songs, their feathers, and their bodies as food. The last thing he said to them they will never forget, for it was one of those boys who told me this story many years later. "You know, our Creator gave the gift of life to everything that is alive. Life is a very sacred thing, but our Creator knows that we have to eat to stay alive. That is why it is permitted to hunt to feed ourselves and our people. So I understand that you boys must have been very, very hungry to kill those little birds." All right. Why do you think that Swift Eagle chose not to yell at the children for shooting the birds?
Maybe he wanted to teach them, or let them learn from themselves, or teach a lesson.
Yeah, I feel like as I was reading it, I thought that Swift Eagle was teaching them a lesson in a different way that they would appreciate more instead of being yelled at.
It's kind of like when you make something seem like someone else's idea. He didn't want to yell at them and be like, that's wrong. He wanted them to kind of figure it out themselves.
They make their own idea out of it. How did he help them understand what they were doing was wrong without punishing them? What was kind of the moral of the story, kind of what we were talking about? What was the moral of the story that he was trying to have them create for themselves? Always thinking about other people. How do you think the children felt once they realized what they were doing was wrong?
Awful.
Do you think they felt bad because of what they were doing? At first it didn't really matter, he was just shooting the birds to do it, and then this man, Swift Eagle, came in and told them that it's like people's lives and how they feel about their own life. Like it would be terrible to take someone's life, and the birds are just the same kind of people, right? Very interesting. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to break you off into groups. I'm not going to use popsicle sticks. I'll do these 4, you 5, and then you 5. And I'm going to have you guys, I'm going to give you one of these. What you're going to do is I'm going to put you into groups, and you'll be demonstrating to the class how you would thank an animal if it had passed away. So you can think of your dog, your cat, or you can even think of a chicken that you're eating for dinner with your family, or turkey that you're making for your sandwich. How you would properly want to thank an animal as it passed away, okay? So I'll pass these out to the groups right now. You guys can take your cute dog. This is the 5.
What's that?
Hello.
We work together a lot. Yay!
You want to put it?
You guys want to say the
Yes, I'm just ignoring it. What is it? Okay, squirrel.
Squirrel.
True. So we're thanking them?
I'm thankful for the squirrels cleaning up the nuts.
Yeah. That's what?
For the squirrels cleaning up the nuts.
To make it really clean. What is it?
What is the animal?
Squirrel.
Right, and like squirrel.
Oh, very nice. I like that a
I think
lot.
that's so important for
Yeah.
kids, but of course for us too.
What's the animal that you've decided on? We're going to share your group.
Really?
It's a dog.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. No, absolutely.
There's no meat on it.
It's a German Shepherd. Okay. Right.
And
And then we're gonna share as a group. So wait, you do like Saturdays, what we give they give you?
I'm thankful for squirrels keeping my dog entertained.
That's an unconditional love. My mom was like, when she had teenagers, it's like she loved the dog.
Right, if your group is done, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Just about done? Just about done over here? Okay, before we start sharing as a group, I want you to, I know that doesn't have to be the exact animal or stuffed animal that you have, but I want your group to say what your animal is and then give the proper thank you that you discussed with your group, okay? And I'm going to start with our group on the left.
Okay, so our little dog here is actually a chicken, and we thank him for providing nutrition for us and keeping us bigger and stronger.
I like that, thanking it and giving it a purpose, very nice. This group?
Our little guy here, we pretended was a squirrel, so it was a little less personal. And I said I was thankful for the squirrel picking up all the nuts.
Yeah.
And I think we had a couple others.
Thank you for giving us food.
Because we do eat nuts.
And keeping our dogs
And
entertained.
squirrels. And keeping our dogs entertained, eh? That's nice, right?
And us entertained.
And this group right here? You did it, yours.
Yeah, this is our dog.
Thanks for being a companion, unconditional love, never getting mad at us, being fluffy, cuddle partner.
See, and we don't even realize how big of a connection we have with animals everywhere at all times of the day. How interesting is that? So after that, that would probably be about the end of it. I think I only have another minute, so I wanted to talk about the closure to the lesson, and some of the questions were, how do you feel after thanking the source of your food or other needs, like the dog and maybe the squirrel? Would you or would you not consider thanking the animals that become your food all the time? Why or why not? And why do you think it was common for the Native Americans to thank living things that provide for them, but it is uncommon to see that in our own community? And that kind of reflects back to the morals and values of Native American people and their culture. And then, can you make any connections about your own life to the text? Has there ever been a moment in your life where you were taught a lesson in kind of the way that Swift Eagle taught the boys, in terms of thinking for themselves and having something happen, not necessarily being reprimanded?
Kind of like Miyagi then.
Yeah, he definitely did. That's absolutely right.
Wait, what's that verb?
Like Mr. Miyagi.
From Karate Kid. Yeah. Right? Karate Kid.
Yeah, he had them learn for themselves instead of kind of teaching them. It was kind of them finding themselves out. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was thinking about the answer to the question about why do Native Americans are more thankful than we are, and I just think they're more grateful for like the land and the earth and what they need to survive, and we're just kind of like take it for granted because it's just there for us to just consume.
Yeah, I feel that same way too, and I feel like as I was reflecting on Sarah's lesson, I was sitting there and realizing that like there are times in my life where I do sit there and I realize like I would not be here today if I didn't have this, that, and the other thing, and it all comes together, and I do become grateful, but I feel as though like us as a society, we just don't appreciate things hardly as much as they do and still do now.
On what Erica said, I think I learned from another class what they believe in the seventh generation. So you have to step on the earth with the idea that you're influencing your seventh generation ahead of you, because the seventh generation before you influenced it, so you can have it today. So I think that's really interesting.
And we're looking 7 generations before and after us now. So that was the lesson, but thank you.